What's going on, you guys? So I wanted to kind of backtrack and cover any dev blogs that I missed from Grand Tactician. If you guys are not familiar, these are the guys that are making possibly the best American Civil War strategy slash tactical game ever made. I covered a lot of dev blogs and a lot of videos that these guys released, and it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely incredible. Like I was just blown away. This is the game that I am voting. If it comes out in 2019, by default, it's probably going to be the best game of 2019 because the shit that they've been releasing is just like wowing me every time. So, damn. So, I can't wait for this game to come out. All right, let's take a look at this beautiful screenshot here. So, we got two of them right here. So, first call Army of Northern Virginia, James Longstreet right there. All right. So, top, the rebel army is encamped as shown for the Confederate player. And then same army as seen by the Union player on the bottom left. So this is what the Union player is seeing. So he's seeing 20,000 men, 100 guns, and what you're seeing with your army is going to be 20,290 guns. So this makes sense because, like, figuring you're a guy, you're on a hill, right? You're looking at an army and how many guns they got. You're going to count shit like more than once, right? You're going to mess up, right? I mean, no, unless you're a freaking robot, you're not going to be able to get everything down to precision. So I like that they're putting that in there. The other thing I do like is where it has ammunition. You got to factor that in because like a lot of games that I pick up as a army, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go attack and invade the north, and half the time you're like, holy shit, I forgot about ammo. Let me make sure about ammo. But in a lot of games they don't put in ammo as a consideration. So you just go up and you just fight all day and all fight all night, and yeah, the ammo just keeps coming. I like that you have to factor that in. It kind of makes that realism aspect. If you guys remember watching the movie Gettysburg, if you haven't, you should. It's a movie that came out in '93, and there was a part in the movie where Longstreet looks at Lee and he says, we have enough artillery for one more good fight, but just one, right?" And I love the fact that it's not unlimited ammunition. Like 2 days of battle happen, they only have enough guns and ammo for one more day, and then they have to like just get the fuck out of Dodge, right? I love that fact. So let's just dive right into this dev blog instead of going down that road. All right, like on battles, we use order delays on campaign as well. Here, two delays depend on initiative of commanders and distance between units within an army. When commanding the armies themselves, you are able to utilize telegraph infrastructure. Telegraph stations within range of one another are considered in contact, which will allow a chain from the capital city to the armies. When on campaign, the player can use the army to construct new telegraph stations, but these stations can be captured or burned down by the enemy, which will mean the loss of communications and much slower delivery of orders. Other military infrastructure players' armies can erect in the game are supply depots and forts, but we'll cover those later. So, this is a strategic map. This is not the tactical map. So, it looks like, from what I'm getting from this, is that you are Jeff Davis, right? You're telling the Army of Northern Virginia, I need your asses to go north and invade Pennsylvania. But when you send that, if there's no telegraph stations, that order has to go on foot or by horse. So it takes time. So if you have a telegraph station, that's pretty much almost going to be immediate. So I like that. That's really cool. Damn, this game's going to be freaking amazing. Like in battles, the movement order can be given as timed orders. This will allow better coordinating movements of multiple corps within an army, for example, to make sure they can support one another during the movement too. You can also direct the army to use or not to use transportation via railroads, rivers, or sea, depending on the route and available transportation equipment. The army will then take the quickest route and transportation combination to order destination. This will allow amphibious movement and river expeditions. If a force march is ordered, the unit will move faster, but the rate of attrition will go up, and the condition of the men down while also readiness suffers. So we got another screenshot here. And the third cold break camp will move out in 4 hours and 35 minutes. This is another thing I love. The fact that when you issue an order, right, even if it gets there like within like 5 minutes, you do use the telegraph. It shows up, they got the order, all right, let's move out. It's not gonna, your troops are not like freaking robots. You're not gonna tell them, all right, get up and move. They're not like Star Wars Episode One with all those freaking robots. They're gonna say, all right, well, let's break camp. We'll have to eat, and get some water in us, and then we'll start moving out. And it's gonna take a couple hours, especially you have to align the units to go in a specific order. Your regiment's gonna go first. Your brigade's gonna go last. All this good shit, right? So this is so real. I love this shit. Armies can be ordered to take offensive or defensive stance, while offensive units will engage enemy units, siege enemy forts, and reinforce battles that will take place within their range or the range of their parent army if they are within range of the army commander. Offensive units will encamp when movement is finished, but will not start to dig in to allow quick reaction to further movement orders. When encamped, units will be resupplied and the men can rest. If encamped during the winter, army will go into winter quarters, which protect them from the cold, but will increase order delays. Interesting. Defensive units will not engage enemies within range, but will instead stop and dig in. If two opposing defensive units meet, they will both entrench, and the end result could be Petersburg kind of trench warfare statement situation. Offensive and defensive orders will allow you to block terrain and enemy movements, create reserves, and so on with ease. Cavalry during the Civil War is a versatile branch of arms with the effect taking place also outside field battles. For this reason, a player can order the way he wants the cavalry to act within his armies. During the early war, the guarding was the most usual task. The cavalry would patrol the close proximity of armies, secure lines of communication, and be deployed as a screen behind the main line to stop stragglers and deserters. In this role, the cavalry units will not fight in the battles, but on campaign gameplay, the readiness and security of the army is improved and desertion lower. When raiding, cavalry will attack enemy infrastructure, skirmish with enemy units, and forage countryside. This will allow burning down the Shenandoah Valley, and similar operations will also hurt the support of civilian population. The third special order for cavalry is the scout. Scouting cavalry will improve readiness and intelligence gathering of the army immensely. Will skirmish with enemy within range will not appear in battles except in the case of a cavalry corps. If on a scouting mission, cavalry corps will join field battles but could arrive a bit late due to the need to concentrate beforehand. Think Stuart at Gettysburg with no special orders. Cal will fight in field battles with the rest of the army. Alright, so cavalry orders allow long range to devastate the enemy infrastructure and morale. So you can burn. Troopers in this unit will skirmish while enemies within range. Unopposed raiders lower support among the civilian population. So my voice is kind of going out. I just want to give you a heads up. I was sick all weekend, so if I have to cough, I'm going to try to edit it out, but it is what it is. While the above orders allow flexibility in the use of your armies and planning of operations, one problem you will have is the information about your enemy. Many times during the war, the information about enemy movements was quite vague. Think McClellan, right? He was like, man, the freaking Confederate army is 200,000 to my 100,000. This is where, you just got to go at it. If he kind of outflanks you and you find out later he does have the 200,000 soldiers, oh well. Well, if you do win, it would be a glorious victory, wouldn't it be? While it probably was known if the enemy army was on the move, the exact location status was not, and this made operations tricky. To simulate this effect, we have created a different kind of fog of war mechanic for our campaign map. We'll call it the intelligence map. In battles, you basically see the enemy units when your units spot them in terrain. On the campaign map, this is the same is true, but the information about unspotted enemies will also be available. This information is gathered via spies, scouts, loyal population, and from the local news, even those of the enemy. The less sources of information you have from the area, the less accurate intelligence from there will be. Think Gettysburg, right? We simulate this intelligence by showing approximate information about the enemy hidden in the fog of war. For example, you may learn that Jackson's corps was sighted near town 3 days ago. Most likely, the corps had since moved on, but where to? When intelligence about the same unit pops up from elsewhere, you are able to track the approximate movement of the enemy. Wow, I love that you have to think about shit like that. But there are a couple of twists there. Depending on the cunning of the commander in question, the intel delay is further increased. Also, the number of men within the army will be just an estimate. And depending on your commanders, they may interpret and assess the received intelligence with errors. So with this mechanic, it will be possible that the 500,000 rebels supported by McClellan being dug in around Richmond could actually be quite a lot less in numbers and may be attacking the right flank as we speak. To help the player to understand what kind of intelligence to expect and from where we added an information layer on the campaign map, with this information we can easily visualize on the map the intelligence coverage. With the same system, we're able to show a lot of other information later on, like the dynamic front lines, depending on the position of the armies, ownership of towns, etc., population density, support, and so on. That you can see here at the top screenshot right there. Borders. So all I can say to this is, holy shit, this is amazing. This is absolutely wow. I Oh man, you know, if this game comes out for $60, I'll have to tell them that's just too cheap, man. I would literally pay. I shit you not. I would pay $200 for this game easy because from if this is done right, right? Like if this is what from what I'm reading from all these dev blogs, all these videos I'm watching, if this is what they could produce, this is the final product, and this is for word what they're producing, I'd be like, forget about it. I'm gonna quit my job. I'll freaking just play this nonstop day in, day out. I mean, of course, I'm just exaggerating, but my point is, this is going to be incredible. You know, between the supply system, the military system, the strategic side, the tactical side, the way commanders work. I mean, it's insane the level of detail and realism that this game is providing. I've never seen a Civil War game like this ever. Just never seen it. The best Civil War game that I've played now is Civil War 2, and that has by far one of the best strategic level campaigns for a Civil War game I've ever played, right? After reviewing this, it's just like you could do so much more and then throw in a tactical component, right? Like it's just it's just amazing. Really is. Oh man, I can't wait. This is gonna be amazing. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you then.